All right, welcome ladies and gentlemen, artists and creatives from around the world to NAB NYC 2023. I'm Matthias Omotola, aka Major VFX here at Maxon, having artists showcase Maxon 1 and our collection of tools. Now, we just saw Harrison Vincent, and you saw the workflow with Cinema 4D as well as Substance, and we do have a special going on. You can check out maxon.net for any new licenses to check out that combo deal. Well, next up, we do have a special guest all the way from Iceland. You might know her as María Guðjohnsen. I know her as Alaska Danger. Let's give a big round of applause for María.
Hey, everyone. Hey. Okay, yeah, you can hear me now. Hey everyone, thanks for coming out. Okay. Is that good? Okay. Okay, I didn't make slides, so I'm just gonna show you my social media here. My name is María Guðjohnsen. I'm a 3D artist. I'm from Iceland, and I both work freelance on commercial 3D projects as a generalist, and I mostly work in Cinema 4D and Houdini. I worked with brands such as Gucci, Dolce Gabbana, Samsung, Adidas, Jagermeister, etc., etc. And then I also have a Master of Fine Arts in Computer Arts. So I also do exhibitions for my personal work. I've exhibited my work all over the world. Europe, America, Asia, and I've done art festivals such as Art Basel and Freeze. And so I'm just going to show you my reel real quick. So today I'm going to be showing you how to give your renders a little extra pizzazz. Just make it look cool with a few tips and trips that I use in my personal work. I like to work with a lot of metallic textures, reflective materials, glass, dispersion, emission, etc. Just a little disclaimer, in my personal work, I don't necessarily like to work very photoreal. I like to break the rules a little bit, just be playful and max out the settings, max out the render budget, and eyeball things. Hopefully this will just give you a bit of an insight of how to use the programs with like a more DIY, playful approach. So let's dive into it. So this is my scene file here. It's just this snake here, and I've got a camera in my scene. We're gonna load it up with Redshift. And we're just gonna add in a temporary silver material just to kind of see what we're doing. We're gonna set the preset to silver, apply it to the snake, and we can't see much because metallics are mirrors, so we're gonna need to add in some reflections. Usually I always work with dome lights with HDRIs. Let's load in a dome light here. I'm going to be using an HDRI from Grayscale Gorilla's Pro Metal Studio Pack. Here. This one. Good. And we're gonna turn off the background because we want to see what we're doing. We're gonna turn the saturation down. And so with this, you want to just like adjust the rotation until you get a result that you like. I like to just kind of draw the outlines of the shape and kind of like accentuate dramatics. I've got some coordinates here that I've already pre-selected. I like that. We're gonna bring the intensity down to 0.16. And that's pretty good for this one. And a good thing about Redshift is that you can use multiple dome lights. And if you just keep adding them, they're gonna blend together. I'm gonna use the second one from the same asset pack. And let's stay organized here. Cool. Now for this one, we also want to rotate it. And wait. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the max is 5 for the HDRIs, so you can just kind of keep adding them in and playing around with it. For this one, we're going to rotate it to preset coordinates. And we're going to bring the intensity up to something like this. Let me turn off the other one so you can see what I'm doing with this one. And I'm going to bring the exposure down as well. So now we got like a nice, some nice highlights and some nice blacks. And with these two together, you can see what they're doing here. This is looking pretty good. And I'm going to add in a third one. And now we're going to be adding in some colors. HDRI colors. And I'm going to be using this, it's a picture of Broadway Lafayette Station of the lights in the ceiling, just because we're in New York. It looks kind of like this. I've gone into Photoshop and blurred it a little bit because sometimes they can be a little bit strong. Let's turn off the background again to see what we're doing. Turn off the other ones. And we're going to rotate this one as well. This can be personal taste. You can just rotate it until it looks good. I'm going to go for there we go. I like this. Let's go into the intensity again. And I'm gonna adjust the gamma too to 1.31. And now these are gonna be my colors. And so all of these three together, we got some nice reflections going on. And so when you're doing this, you just want to make sure that you don't lose your blacks, and your highlights are not too white, you don't blow anything out, and nothing is head on. If you put stuff head on, it's going to wash out the scene. So you want to make sure that you kind of accentuate the dramatics of the geometry. Now let's look at the texture a little bit. This was just temporary, so I'm gonna delete, oh, not this. Delete the material, and we're gonna go into materials, create a material, right? Just rename that. Snake metallic. And we're gonna change the Fresnel type to metalness. Turn that all the way up. And you can adjust the colors here. If you wanted to go for some color, you can change it to whatever you want. I have a color map. Let's apply it. I have a color map that I'm gonna add in. It looks like this, just so I can get the pinks of the mouth and oops. Yep. Let's apply that. It goes into the color. And I also have a normal map, which is important when you're normal map. It's important when you're working with metallic textures is to give them some kind of height maps. Bumps, bump maps, normal maps, displacements. This is gonna go into the bump input. Right, is that right? That's right, okay, cool. So now he's looking more like a snake. He's catching more of the reflections. Oh, did I delete one of my HDRIs? Okay, let's just add that in again. Sorry. Let's do that really quick. Cool. Cool. I just want to texture the eyes and the tongue real quick. So we're going to make more metallic materials. Metalness. Pull that up. I've already made some selections text here to apply it. This is just the eye. We're gonna make it a little bit more rough, like that, so we can see his eye more. And we're just gonna copy that, stay organized. That's eye. And this one's gonna go on the tongue. We're gonna make it a nice blue tongue. Apply that. That's the tongue. Cool. And now we can start adding in some lights just to play with the scene a little bit more. Again, we're not working photoreal, so I like to just eyeball things, kind of use the lights as I please. And so let's add in a rim light. Rename it. I'm gonna put it sort of behind him and pull it back in set space. Just go for something like 80. Put it behind him. Oh, make sure it's facing the right way. There we go. I'm gonna add in a texture to the light so we can get some more fun colors in here. I'm gonna be using this. It has a nice pinks and blues, so that's gonna look cool. Let's add that in. I'm gonna bring the intensity down just because it's really strong. Let's go for it 17, and the exposure I'm gonna bring down too. Cool. I'm also gonna play with the temperature a little bit. When you have multiple lights in your scenes, it's fun to play with the temperature, make one warmer, make one colder, just to give you more contrast in your scene. This one I'm gonna make a little bit cooler. I'm gonna go for this. And now he's starting to look really cool. We're gonna add in some context now because he's kind of floating in space. So when I'm working abstract like this, I like to use planes to cheat the lighting a little bit. We're gonna add in a plane. Just pull that out of the scene. You could use a redshift tag and turn the visibility off. We're just gonna pull it out of the scene for now. Let's do -221 all the way down, and we're gonna give that a texture. Let's go for a standard material. We're gonna take the reflections out of it, and I'm gonna change the color to 9.5% white. Apply that, and now you can see we're kind of blocking some of the whites. It's making him a little darker, which I like. And yeah, he's still floating in space, so we're gonna give him a plane to sit on. Just gonna adjust it. I have some coordinates here again. Nice. Okay, let's move it a little bit down. That's nice. And we're gonna give that a texture as well. Let's make that metallic as well. Pull that up. I'm gonna make it white. And let's just apply it so you can see what I'm doing here. And we're gonna play with the roughness a little bit. 0.57. And I'm also gonna give it a normal map. I like to use a lot of normal maps. They're really fun to play with. They just add the like a little bit of texture to your scene. Plug that into the bump map, and so a couple of things that I don't like here. It's blocked some of the reflections that we've already made with the HDRIs, and it's kind of stealing the show here. It's way too bright. So we're going to be doing a little bit of visibility and light linking. You would not use this for photorealism, and you have to be really careful with this because it's going to cause mismatched lighting, but we're going to be doing it anyway. It's fun. We're going to give that a redshift tag. And the visibility. And we're not going to make it cast shadows. And we're going to turn off the secondary ray. So now we're back where we've decided the lighting with the HDRIs. And yeah, it's really strong. So we're going to be excluding some of the lights from the HDRIs. We're going to remove... Here we go. Project. We're going to remove the colors. And we're going to be excluding it from this one too. Why is it not doing it? Let's restart it. Exclude. linking for some reason. It's not linking for some reason. There we go. Yeah, so I've just added it here into the exclusion from the HDRIs. And that's looking pretty good. Now he's grounded. And it's looking very faint and nice. It's not stealing the show. Cool. So I've gone ahead and given him some more assets to make him look cool. He's got some sunglasses ready to go. He's got an Apple Watch. Pretty cool. I've just given them a gold texture. It's just a copy from the tongue texture, and I've just made it yellow, so it's gold. But I want to fill in his screen with a picture of a motorcycle. We have two pieces of geo here. We have glass, and we have a screen behind it. We're going to start by adding the glass material. Set the preset to glass. Let's apply that. And I'm going to bring the IOR, the thickness of the glass, down to 0.96. So it's really thin. And I'm just going to up the roughness a little bit, 0.25. So you can kind of see it, the glass is there. And so behind it, we're going to add in a incandescent material, and that's an emissive material. Apply that to the screen. It's giving off a little bit of emission. And we're going to add in a texture map. To the color. And that's going to be a picture of this motorcycle. Add that in. Now you can see it there. And now emissives are really nothing without bloom. So we're going to go into our settings here, our render settings, and we're going to turn on the bloom. And this can be of personal taste. You can crank it all the way up, but I like to have it so it's not going to be washing out anything else in my scene. I just want it on my bloom, so I'm going to turn it up until it stops blooming on his face here. We're going to crank it all the way up to 15. So now it's really giving nothing. That's good. That's where we want it for now. This is going to be a bit of fine-tuning between the emission strength, the bloom threshold, and the image gamma. And you can play around with those three until they're all clicking together. So we're going to go back into the material, and we're going to set the intensity multiplier also to 15. So now it's giving bloom just on the watch. But the image is kind of washed out, so we want to bring in a color corrector. Oops. Right. Bring that onto here, and we're going to change the gamma. And so now you have more control over the image. Let's set that to 0.67. And let's go back into our bloom settings here. And let's change the intensity of it. We're going to go for 1.68. And cool. Okay, this is looking nice for now. Oh, turn that off. Cool. Okay, so now we're gonna give the image a more we're gonna give the image more depth. We're gonna do that with a bit of background assets. And I've added in some decals from Hey Nerd's metal asset pack. It's really cool. It's been sculpted in VR. I really like that asset pack. Okay, we're gonna give them a material. Again, we're gonna make it metallic. Let's make it 66% white. Whoops. Pop that on. Cool. But they're really strong. And so we're going to be blending them more with the scene. Again, we're going to be light linking. So we want to exclude it from the colors again, exclude it from the rim light, and exclude it from this HDRI. Nice. So now they're really just adding to the scene. They're not stealing anything away from the snake. And I'm gonna be adding in a depth of field with the camera. We're gonna go into the optical tab and turn on the bokeh. I don't know how to pronounce that. I hope it's bokeh. And we'll turn down the aperture. So that's what this is doing. We're going to use this button right here to focus on the eye. That's usually a good reference for focusing. If you have an eye in your scene, that's where you want it. This is too strong right now. Let's set it to 15. So now the background assets are a little bit blurred. The snake is in focus. Cool. So one thing I like doing in my renders is adding in some particles, some little glowing particles. Let's add in a sphere, scale it down. We're gonna make it really small. Add in a cloner. Let's go for 4x4x4. Make the distance smaller. And let's move it up and back. So we have like one row in front of him. That's pretty good. A little bit more up. We're gonna add in a effector, a random effector. Make sure that that is linked, and we're gonna make the position random. Let's do 20 by 20 by 20. Let's give them a good place. Just eyeball something that we like. We're gonna make them a lot smaller. We can change the seed too. This is looking nice. Something like this. Let's make another incandescent material and make them emissive. Apply it on the cloner, not on the sphere, because we want to make them all different colors. With one material. I'm going to make the spheres a little bit bigger so we can see what we're doing. And we're going to add in a color user data node. And we're going to set the attribute to geometry ID color. add that to a ramp. We're going to plug it into the alternative input and plug that into the color. And so now with this, you can go into the presets here, and if you choose a pattern here, you're going to see they're all different colors. This is personal taste, whatever you want to do, choose some colors. I'm going to go for this purple one, so they're just like all a little bit different. Scale the spheres back down. Even smaller. It's kind of nice. Nice. Okay. Still can't see them very well. That's because we haven't changed the multiplier. Now we can see them. Let's make it 20. Nice. Now they're all kind of glowing. The darker ones are going to have less bloom. The lighter colored ones are going to have more bloom. Again, personal taste. You can tweak the bloom settings. You can tweak the colors just until you get a result that you like. And cool. It's looking pretty good. Some final touches here. I like to mess with these settings. I love a good LUT. LUTs are kind of like Instagram filters. It can save you some time on color correcting if you're just doing something like this. You can get them from the internet, or you can use the presets here. I'm using this Avga color Optima 200. Putting that on. And I'm also going to add in some streaks. Streaks can be kind of overused sometimes. Just keep that in mind, but they're really fun. I really like them. Let's set the tail to something smaller. Let's give him something like this. Let's get rid of the softness, make them really sharp. That's looking nice. Cool. Some more things for post-processing. I like to set up render layers. And if you go into your AOV tab and into the AOV manager, you can add some things. It's just going to make your life easier when you're doing post-processing later in whatever software you're using. I like to have an emission pass. Show you that. If we get rid of the glass here, you can see what it does. This is just our emissive materials. So with this, you could take it into Photoshop. You can make them lighter. You can make, if you're losing some of your image data, you could add that back in. This gives you just some control over that. And then I like adding in another beauty pass, and then getting rid of the color processing. And you can't see it here, but that's going to get rid of the bloom and the streaks. So if you have some overpowering blooms and streaks, you could just manually erase them. And yeah, that's it for our snake. Yeah, cool. Yeah, we can take some questions.
All right, everyone, we do have plenty of time for questions. So if you have questions about this project or anything else for Maria. Questions. Right there. I'm sorry. Can anyone repeat the question? Oh, the color data. How did you work with as far as getting the colors? Your color choices.
Oh, my color choices. I like to just experiment with the HDRIs. Usually I have just like a database of HDRIs. I like to put them into the scene, rotate the HDRIs just to get something that I like. It's a lot of back and forth, a lot of experimentation. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, the colors for the lights.
The colors for the lights,
in the
the particles.
Yeah.
That's this, what I just showed with the, it's a ramp that's a gradient, and I'm using this color user data that's selecting each particle. And then with the ramp, you can choose the colors and make them different colors. Cool.
Excellent. Any other questions for Maria? All right. Well, stay tuned. In about 20 minutes, we're going to be getting going here with our next presenter, Eric Say. So if you're into sports graphics, you're definitely going to want to check this out. We'll see you after the break.